UFC fighters, man. I mean, the grit, the determination. It's like a gladiator's arena in modern times. Religion and progress. They sell you heaven to keep you from fixing the hell on earth. Divine intervention? More like divine distraction. Meanwhile, teens turn to crime because we failed them. Because they see no future in this mess we've created. Saddam Hussein? A puppet hung out to dry to distract from the real monsters still pulling the string. Capitalistic regimes where freedom is a commodity, bought and sold to the highest bidder. And the Bible? Indoctrination at its finest. They tell you to turn the other cheek while they rob you blind. Flat Earth. Can you believe people buy that? It's the ultimate metaphor for how easily we're duped. Censorship and cancel culture. Tools to silence dissent, to keep the narrative clean and neat. And cannabis and hemp. Oh, nature's gift turned into a scapegoat to protect the interests of Big Pharma. Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, the tip of the iceberg. The real story's buried under layers of lies, cover-ups, and dead men who tell no tales. It's a sick, twisted game, and we're all just pieces on their board. They think they can keep us in the dark, keep us chasing shadows while they control the narrative. But we see through it. We see the fighters who won't back down. Those teens who rebel not out of malice, but out of despair. The ones who refuse to be silenced. We know the power of the collective mind, the strength in numbers, and divine intervention. Maybe it's in the hands of the people who dare to question, who dare to fight. The Bible might teach obedience, but history teaches revolution. The flat earth might be a joke, but the flatness of our responses to censorship and oppression, that's the real tragedy. Cannabis and hemp, natural remedies, suppressed in favor of synthetic poison, because it's all about profit. They hold conferences, sign agreements, but it's all smoke and mirrors. The real changes come from us, from grassroots movements demanding accountability. Look at artificial intelligence. They tout it as the future, but it's just another tool for control. Surveillance, data mining, manipulation. They're building a digital prison around us, all while selling it as progress. The smart cities, the connected devices, it's all part of the plan. They're not making our lives easier, they're making it easier to control us. Social media, it's a double-edged sword. Sure, connection, give us a platform, but it also monitors us, shapes our opinions, and controls the narrative. Algorithms deciding what we see, who we connect with. It's all about data, about control. And the influencers? They're the new gatekeepers, pushing products and ideas, shaping culture in ways we barely notice. Cryptocurrency. Now there's a revolution waiting to happen. Decentralized finance, taking the power away from the banks. But even that, they're trying to co-opt, to regulate, to control. They see the threat, the potential for freedom, and they're screaming to keep it in check. Space exploration, the final frontier. They say it's about discovery, about pushing boundaries, but it's really about control, about resources. They're already staking claims on other planets, preparing for the next phase of exploitation. It's colonialism on a cosmic scale. Think about food production, agribusiness. They've turned sustenance into another profit stream, prioritizing GMOs and pesticides over health and sustainability. They're destroying the land, poisoning the water, all in the name of efficiency. And they tell us it's progress, that it's necessary to feed the world. Mental health, the silent crisis. They push pills, quick fixes, but they ignore the systemic issues driving the epidemic. The isolation, the pressure, the lack of support. It's all part of the system, a symptom of the society they've built. A society designed to break us down, to keep us compliant. We're waking up though. We see the strings, the puppeteers, education, healthcare, media, climate, AI, social media, crypto, space, food, mental health. It's all connected. They control the narrative, but we control the power. The storm can rage, but it can't drown out the truth. We are ready to fight, to demand change, to cut the strings and reclaim our future. And Hollywood, don't even get me started. The whole entertainment industry is a giant distraction machine. They sell us dreams, fantasies, but it's all an illusion. They craft these perfect worlds, these perfect lives, and we get hooked. It's like a drug. We crave the escape, the distraction from our own lives. We don't even realize we're addicted. We sit in the front of our screens, consuming their content, numbing ourselves to the reality around us. The music industry? Same deal. They churn out these catchy tunes, these anthems that get stuck in our heads. It's all engineered, designed to hit those dopamine receptors, to keep us coming back for more. They package rebellion, love, anger, and sell it back to us. But it's all sanitized, controlled. The real voices, the ones with something to say, get drowned out by the noise. They've turned art into a commodity, a tool for control. The stars, the celebrities, they're just pawns, carefully crafted personas to keep us engaged, to keep us distracted. They live these lavish lives, and we're supposed to aspire to that? To chase that illusion? It's a cycle of envy and aspiration that keeps us hooked, keeps us from looking too closely at the strings being pulled behind the scenes. Movies, music, TV shows, they're all part of the same machine. They feed us these narratives, these ideals, and we swallow them whole. We start to measure our lives against these artificial standards. Feeling inadequate, striving for something that doesn't exist. It keeps us in a perpetual state of want, of dissatisfaction, and that's exactly how they want it. The public is addicted, but they don't see it. They don't see how they're being manipulated, how their desires, their dreams are being shaped by this media onslaught. It's the perfect drug, cheap, accessible, and it keeps us numb. Numb to the injustices, to the corruption, to the control, and the influencers. They're the dealers pushing the latest trends, the latest products. They create this sense of urgency, this need to keep up, to fit in. It's all part of the game, the endless cycle of consumption, and we buy into it, literally and figuratively. We spend our money, our time, our energy chasing these manufactured dreams. But the cracks are showing. People are starting to wake up, to see the stream. The glossy facade of Hollywood, the catchy hooks of the music industry, they're losing their shine. We're starting to realize that the true power lies in our own stories, our own voices. The storm can rage, the media machine can churn, but it can't silence the truth forever. We need to break the cycle, to reclaim our narratives. Art should be about expression, about truth, not about control and distraction. We need to support the real voices, the ones who aren't afraid to speak out, to challenge the system. The storm is fierce, but we can weather it. We can cut the strings, break the addiction, and find our own path. Hollywood and the music industry can keep selling their drugs, but we don't have to buy. We can choose truth over illusion, reality over fantasy. It's time to wake up, to see the addiction for what it is, and to break free. The storm can't drown out the roar of a people awakened, a people ready to reclaim their stories, their lives. And the political ideologies, left, right, center, everyone's got an agenda, and it's all just a mess of contradictions. You know, religion and progress, they say they don't mix. But what about divine intervention? Is it real, or just a figment to keep the masses in check? Don't get me started on Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. It's a web of corruption and exploitation. The truth buried under layers of deceit. Yeah, they don't want you to know the truth. The elites control everything, pulling strings from the shadows. Just like those UFC fighters in the octagon, pawns in a larger game. But at least they fight back.
Back-to-back knockdowns. I cannot believe why this show.